from being a young adult to like being an adult, like an older adult.
It is frozen because a lot of frozen fruits and etc. There's also a source of fiber.
Yeah. Exactly.
So there.
Traveling is really hard, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
To get fiber intake, and Hey everyone, I'm Ameerul.
I'm Shen Yi.
We are dietitians from Malaysia.
We do podcasts.
We do coaching
helping you eat better
in a sustainable way.
Perfect.
Welcome back to our Not Only Diet Talk podcast. This is episode 36. And it's only both of us today. We see the engagement is not bad, which is quite surprising.
Yeah.
We should be more confident with ourselves, right? And then now that we are doing this podcast fully physically, so we hope that we will also bring back all of our speakers or like our guests who were previously we did only online.
Yep.
Yeah, so hopefully we can, like have more afterwards. And at the same time right now we are also in the process of like recording some podcasts with some guests that you need to wait as well on the next upcoming episode.
Yep.
Previous episode
Previous
episode and the upcoming episode.
Yep.
Anyway, so today we are actually planning to talk about something that is more relatable to our daily life, because we are all working adults, right? And we do believe that most of our audiences and listeners are also among young working adults or like slightly middle-aged working adults and also older working adults. And we know for the fact that when you are at this age, let's say I'm like 28 now, you're
29.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
To be older, right?
Yeah.
Even though you look a bit younger than me, anyway. So basically, we know for the fact that at our age right now is the age where I would say it's quite a lot of things that we are transitioning from being a young adult to like being an adult, like an older adult. So a lot of things require a lot of what we call that adaptation, and then us trying to understand ourselves better, us trying to adapt into like a different job. I don't know, maybe some of us getting married or like having children, changing jobs, different priority in life and stuff like that. So I would say that this is the crucial time where a lot of us tend to basically neglect our health. Yeah. So I think that's the idea of like why we came up with this topic of like 3 things that we personally do to stay healthy as a working adult.
And also I think this phase, right, we are actually reducing the dependency. Like it's fully depend on us, like every single thing. I mean, some of our friends they still get like family support and etc. But most of us, when you start to be like a working adult, then it's fully on yourself, wherever expenses and etc. You sometimes, as a young working adult or as a working adult, working is the priority for us to get financial, ability.
I agree with you, and I think we are not saying that we have the most perfect method, but I would say that at this point of time of my life, I can consider myself as a very healthy person. Someone who's someone who's like very aware of like healthy eating, healthy lifestyle, and I think being a dietitian as well, I believe that whatever that we will be suggesting is something that we do believe that this is going to help every working adults out there. It's just that you need to tweak here and there like in terms of the budget or like in terms of the like working situation, because I do know that some of us maybe be working like late night, right, for example.
The shift, right? The shift.
Exactly. So that might be a different situation, but I do believe that whatever information that we give is kind of like something very general that is relatable and applicable for everyone.
We also want to reduce the barrier as well, because some of the audience might think we are dietitian, of course we are going to be healthy, but not necessary actually.
To be frank, I don't think that really matters like so much. When I was studying dietetics before, like studied nutrition, I don't think I am that aware of my lifestyle as much as I do right now. And I don't think everybody basically practice what they preach.
Exactly.
So you don't have to have feeling the that kind of like barrier, because we are dietitians. It's easy for us to say. You have to think that dietitians are humans as well. Yeah, we also have our own desire, our own cravings, our own like needs on doing a certain thing. So I guess it is supposed to be relatable.
Our lifestyle and our day-to-day life is exactly the same as other working adults. So it doesn't make us that much of difference as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe let's make it a little bit more like relatable. You can just describe your daily life. I also will describe myself later.
Yeah.
In terms of like daily life, how does it look like in your situation? So that somebody who's like working like in your position, similar, can also imagine.
Yeah. Actually, my working time right now is kind of, I would say, slightly like flexible because I'm in the sales industry. So the agreed or the common time that I will need to attend to work would be 8 to 5. But also because of the job nature itself, sometimes I need extra. There are some ad hoc stuff that come.
Yes.
Then why suddenly so loud? Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure the
I
mic
see.
is working. Anyway.
Okay. Yep. And when some ad hoc stuff, ad hoc tasks, and I will need to attend to it, and sometimes the working time might, I might finish my work around 7. And also being someone who will need to drive here and there. Traffic is also one of the things that I need to face every day. Sometimes when I rush for some deadlines, skipping meal, I do not even have time to make sure I follow certain meal timing. Yep. Yeah. And after work, we're doing this Wi-Fi diet as well. Creating contents, like editing, etc. Sometimes it takes up until
a lot
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. That's basically my day-to-day life right now.
Understand.
Yeah.
Understand. And for the fact that all the editings, the social media, we also do consultation, coaching.
Yeah.
Everything like actually happening at the same time within that particular week. So it is really, really hectic actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about your day-to-day?
Let me think. So my situation is that I'm doing 2 jobs as well. My fund is my the job that I've been doing since past 5 years.
Yep.
But also working for a company in developing a program. So my job is also pretty flexible because I get to work from home, and I also some of the days I'll be going to the office. But I guess if I am staying at home, I think it's really on my own way of like determining on what kind of food or things that I want to eat or like take, for example. But when I'm going outside meeting clients or meeting friends and stuff at work per se, then sometimes the food is already there, or like we might actually go to like a certain restaurant or like somewhere to basically eat together. But then I would say that I am a bit privileged when it comes to the time, when it comes to work time, which is I have the flexibility and I mean the flexibility also comes together a responsibility, because you need to make sure that you are not what we call that abuse the time flexibility that you have. So that could also be something really, really hard if I don't have a good discipline and a good like self-control towards like what I want to do. So I would say that in terms of the lifestyle itself, in terms of the working time and stuff, it is very flexible and I get to determine what I want. So to get into this thing, right, Shen Yi, one thing I noticed as compared to before, because right now I'm staying by myself, so I'm no longer sharing like place with people. I'm not staying with my family. I noticed that when, let's say I'm at home, back in my hometown, for example, the food accessibility is always there. So I also always have a lack of control over like, I don't know, emotional binge or like a trigger, which sometimes you just have a thought of like, okay, there's like a crepe there or like cookies there, so you're just gonna take it. But I noticed that when I'm back at my own place and I'm working from home, I have that emotional craving or like trigger or something like that,
Then they should buy the keropok.
That's the thing, because the effort of me to need to go down, taking the elevator and buy at some shop, it would take effort, which eventually I choose not to do it. So it kind of like helped me to basically navigate in terms of that. So I would say that in my point of view, like whenever I have this kind of like lack of control over a certain like emotional, sometimes we have stress, right? Or sometimes we have a certain personal stuff that everybody is enduring by themselves. And I think if I wanted to make it something very practical, is that the food accessibility. So I wouldn't be buying any groceries item like for the whole week. For example, like keropok, right? Or like biscuits, or like something that we know might actually causes me to eat more, then I wouldn't be actually buying that as much. Like maybe I just buy one keropok and that's it. I finish it on that day on another day. But yeah, that's how I survive. I think my point that I'm trying to say is the food accessibility.
So basically, at your place, you don't keep any snacks,
To be honest, no. Yeah, I know it's very cringe lah for some people to hear macam like, oh really, not eating unhealthy at all. Some of the days I have like chocolate or like maybe some chips that I like, but I make a informed or like a conscious decision of like before I buy it, I would need to think like whether I really need or not, whether it will actually impact my lifestyle or not. So technically, I don't really keep all those snacks in my home. Yeah.
Okay. I think something good about it is at least you will keep your shelf very tidy, and then it won't be stuffed with a lot of things.
Yeah.
If I can relate back there in my place, my hometown lah basically. My parents will always buy a lot of stuff. Like the food, they might not just buy for 1 week. They might buy it for 1 month. Then they just keep it, and that actually caused the food accessibility, because when the food is there, and when you have some emotion, right? When you are stressed, when you feel a little bit hungry, I will go and find all those things. Even though my mom hide it somewhere, I still know where is it. And talking about this lack of control, or when it comes to stress and etc., right? Stress eating. Recently, I have this episode. As in,
is it very common? Like every month you're gonna have that, or is it like just because of the stress of work and stuff?
I think because of stress of work, and also sometimes because I miss my meal, so I will feel extra hungry.
Yeah, definitely.
And what happened is that when I feel extra hungry, when I go to the shop, when I order the food, right, I wouldn't think that much. I was like, I want to eat food A, food B, food C. I will order like 2 or 3 portion, and then ended up I cannot finish it.
Always.
Yes, and this actually leads to me myself feeling a little bit guilty, because it will be different as compared with home cooked food, because home cooked food sometimes someone is going to help you finish it. But when we go out and we order something, especially if you're eating alone, when you order like 2 portion already, I thought I can finish it, but if in fact I can't. Then I will feel a little bit sayang with the food. I will still force myself to finish it.
Understand. I think in Malay we usually say it like it's just your nafsu lah, like you are hungry because you skip your meal, and then you tend to like eat more than what you should, because your body apparently don't need that much, for example. So how are we gonna solve this problem? Lack of control.
Me myself, right? I'm reminding myself basically, because I think this relates with what you mentioned just now. You reflect and you ask yourself whether you need it or not. And over there you set like a custom for you to proceed or not. But for me, because I have this episode of like emotional order and overeat and etc., what I talk to myself is that I will only order the food that is enough for me. It's a constant reminder that going through in my mind.
It sounds very intangible and not super practical, right? Because we are just talking to ourselves. But seriously, these are the basic thing that you have to remember. It's really about pause. Like just take a pause for a while. And really verify the feeling and reflect a little bit. I think most of the time we don't really do that, and we just like just make an action and just like take a lot of like food, for example.
Exactly. It's to verify the feeling, as in whether I'm taking this because I feel so hungry, and then if I'm ordering this, can I finish it?
True.
There's also the something. And not ordering because I just feel hungry. Just because of that, my personal experience, literally I would just have leftover, which I feel very, very sayang to throw it away.
Exactly. I think in addition to all these points that we were trying to mention about the importance of meal timing and food accessibility, and also like in terms of how are you going to control yourself whenever that you have this emotional stuff, this whole journey of like being healthy, it is really about like self-awareness. It's really about you at the point of like you realize and you aware what. Same goes to like example when you are stressed, right? If you already have a very good stress coping mechanism, you know what to do already. You will stop from the job, and then you may just take a walk, or maybe you write a journal, something like that. It's the same thing, you know, like it is the same thing applicable to you trying to be healthy and trying to be more aware of like what you're eating.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that I usually will tell my client, because we have our coaching program.
Yep.
I will have like a one discussion session with my client where I will ask them, you eat to live or you live to eat? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing practical when it comes to that, right? But it's more of like a consistent conversation needs to happen. You know, like we have to start thinking about something.
Yep.
Not just thinking, okay, there's a food, you eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
These are unconscious things that happen most of the time, I would say.
Yep, exactly. Anything else that you want to add?
Regarding mindset, I think you mentioned something very, very relatable, because our topic today, we talk about being healthy. Being healthy not necessarily only on our body, but that also relate with our mind as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm quite surprised we start with mind instead of, sometimes. I mean, our previous topic mainly we talk about nutrition, and there must be nutrition element inside.
Definitely.
Yeah, but right now we actually started, the first thing that we do to stay healthy is the mindset, to make sure we have the food accessibility, we do not keep extra food.
And also the importance of taking care of your meal timing. It's also very, very important. Just bring, I don't know, like a certain sandwich or something, put in your pocket or in your bag. So that, whenever that it's going to be a very busy day, you're going to be on the road, you're going to come back late because of traffic, at least you have something to eat. Orang Melayu said like alas perut lah, at least for it to alas perut, so that when you go into the next meal later, you won't be excessively taking that certain amount of food. Yeah.
What I used to do is I will get some cracker. Yeah, those small packet one, 3 or 4 piece inside. So I will just put in my car. Yeah, whenever I notice I might miss my lunch, then I will just take that first. Yep.
Understand. Cool. Yeah. What are other common problems that you think we as a working adult usually, face?
Looking back into my food option, etc. Especially for me myself as someone who always need to go out, on the road and etc. I didn't really get to choose that much of my food.
Okay,
yeah,
tell me
and
more.
especially vegetables.
I see.
Yeah.
Fiber intake lah.
Fiber intake.
Yep.
But this issue we have been repeating for quite some time. Yeah, almost. I would say almost every episode.
I think when it comes to nutrition, we always go back to this kind of issue.
Yeah.
And again, what I'm trying to say here, or what we're trying to deliver here at Not Only Diet Talk, is it's not that we are trying to produce the same type of content.
Yeah.
That's not what we're trying to do. But the nutrition, the core, is basically similar. It's the same.
Yep.
But then what we are trying to deliver is in terms of like how we are surviving in a different situation. Like for example, we had an episode where we were talking about women with anemia.
Yep.
For example, and then we were talking also about remember with
those emotional eating,
and stuff like that. And now we are talking about like working adults. Yeah. So yes, we understand that the concept or everything sounds the same, because every time we're going to talk about this similar thing.
Yep.
But we want you to have that awareness of like, this is like a normal thing that happens to everybody in a different category and groups.
Exactly.
Yeah, and how are we going to like solve that particular issue?
And also, especially for this issue, right, it's actually very alarming right now. Like 95% of adult, talking about taking fiber, Malaysian adult, we are not getting enough fiber intake. Yeah.
95%. I'm wondering who's the 5%.
I don't know. I also wonder.
Like how is their daily intake looks like? Because to be honest, to get that 3 servings of like vegetables,
5 servings of fruits and vegetables. Vegetables usually is 3 servings. Add on with another 2, total will be 5.
Yeah, including grains, I think, right?
Yep.
So
another source of fiber.
Yeah. So I feel like that's already very hard, and I'm wondering like how that 5% people basically do. Yeah.
Probably home cook. It's like everything regarding home cook, and so that they can prepare a lot more fiber and then get ready. Make sure their plate always filled with vegetables. I guess yeah.
Understand. Yeah. Because to me, I get very scared of not getting enough fiber because it will lead to constipation. I really hate constipation because it is not healthy for your down there lah. Yeah. So that's why I do notice that throughout my this past few years, I can really see the difference of like me taking enough fiber and not taking enough fiber. It really impacts my mood. You know, happy gut, happy mind,
me,
right?
Yeah.
So, and then in terms of my gut feels as well, whether you're feeling very bloated or you feel very gassy, and then you know, very hard to go to the toilet and you spend too much time in the toilet. It's all related back with all the lack of like fiber intake and stuff like that. Yeah. So to me, when I am trying to make myself aware, I'll be like thinking about what are the things that I experience that I associate it with the feeling of like I don't want to feeling that way.
Got it.
Yeah. To me, that's my style of like trying to make myself be aware of like something. I don't know. Is there any other example that I can give? I don't know.
Probably it's like you associate it with when you feel like something is wrong, you know that kind of uneasy feeling that you have. And that feeling, your body is telling you that you should get your vegetables or fibers.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So that's usually how I notice. I mean, I identified that as a problem, and then nowadays, you know, like even when traveling is really hard, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
To get fiber intake. And yeah, for the fact that 95% Malaysians are not really getting enough fiber.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have to like really, you know, fit into that directly because it's not going to be an easy journey, right? But I guess one of the things that I've been doing so far is that if the whole day I'm working outside, right, I go to the office, I know that it's sometimes very hard for me to like really get enough fiber. Right, and since that I'm really taking care of my fat intake, I also do not want to take all the sayur goreng, you know, like the fried vegetables and stuff.
Yeah.
So what I at least do is that whenever I buy groceries, I make sure I buy like a pack vegetables. And okay, this might be debatable. Okay, this is debatable.
What's that?
I usually will buy the pack one that is already washed. Yeah, because I know it is more expensive. But sometimes this is my problem. I've been wasting money on this kind of thing, but I will buy because of the convenience. Yeah, because I know I don't have to like wash it, I don't have to like cut it because everything is already packed.
Yeah.
But the outcome is that it helps me to meet my daily fiber intake. So to me, why not?
And that suits you because considering if let's say you do not have time to really, you know, buy from pasar, buy from market, and you need to wash it, you need to keep it. That can be one of the options. Yeah.
So to me, that's like the way of like me making sure that I can make sure that I get that enough. And let's say I go to work from maybe like 9 to 5, and then I don't get it for lunch, right? Then for dinner, I will just have it sayur over there. Yeah, I don't want it to be like today I don't eat sayur, tomorrow I eat, another day I don't eat. I make sure that at least in a day I have it, so that I know the importance and, you know, that I actually need it.
Yeah, and you're being very consistent as well every day. But just now, why do you think that this is debatable? Because of the price?
It's a price, because usually if it's washed or you know it is more expensive.
I know.
Or there's another option lah. Cheaper option is that you buy a few vegetable, maybe like carrot, cucumber. I've done it before. And then like every Sunday, I cut it and then I put inside the fridge. Honestly, it's the best taste ever, especially when the cucumber and the tomato, carrot you cut already, you put inside the fridge, and then it's very fresh, it's very cool. And when I eat it, I feel like that's also one of the way of me associating that eating vegetables is like really nice actually.
How you usually keep it? Because when you mentioned about put inside the fridge, like did you put it inside a airtight container or usually?
I just put inside like a normal Ziploc bag, and then I put it into the vegetable section.
There's something very, very important as well, because I come from a family where the vegetables, after they wash, right, they're going to eat tomorrow, they will just expose it in the environment.
Understand.
So that is something that
so
really
food safety
related to food safety, and might cause, if let's say we are not keeping it well, it might even lead to food poisoning, etc.
That makes a lot of sense actually.
For me, right, if let's say I don't get enough fruits and vegetables, okay, I have this very, very special preference actually. Even I work, right, whenever I'm on the road, I will always make sure my lunch, I would say 85 to 90%, I will get my lunch at a mixed rice store.
That's the easiest way.
Yeah, that's just the easiest way for me to, at least I know I can get enough portion of vegetables. But for dinner, usually I can't get enough. because if I'm eating outside or even I home cook, sometimes I want it fast, then I wouldn't really have time to like prepare and etc. That what you do is actually a good idea to keep all the vegetables. But for me, if I eat outside, what I'm trying to make sure I get enough of fiber. On top of the main dish, I will order like a salad. Yeah,
understand.
I would just look for salad to at least to share with someone.
So you will order extra lah?
Yep, I will order extra because apparently most of the main dish, I don't think they have enough vegetables.
How I wish our food culture is like very, I don't know, like very high fiber kind of like base, you know. Example, like I think the Korean and Japanese diet, right? They always have at least maybe like kimchi also probiotics, and then it's also contain fiber.
Yep.
And then they also have a lot of like side dish of like sayur and everything. But I feel like our diet, regardless even Chinese, right?
Yeah. Unless we eat out, but usually if we're eating out in a Chinese restaurant, they will have like meat, fish, then only one type of vegetables.
Yeah, and also that vegetable maybe is like in oyster sauce, and then I don't know, like something that they will add in some tepung jagung to make it more thick, the kuah. Instead of like just like very fresh. Because to me, when you eat that, and if you're someone very conscious about your calories, then that will also add up to your daily calorie intake as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's just very interesting to talk about this kind of issue because it is a normal thing that happened, and it's like you ask anybody across Malaysia, everybody is facing the same thing, you know. And the data speaks by itself.
95%.
It's just really crazy.
Yeah, and as a working adult itself, especially when we don't have enough time, like what both of us doing, we choose for the convenience and easier option rather than us, you know, spending time to really wash and cut it and keep it and etc. If let's say you have the time, definitely why not? But for our experience, it seems like we are more towards we choose convenience over other things. As long as we get it, as long as it's easy and convenience, we still take care of our fiber intake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think important information as well, you know, like maybe we are a little bit more aware of our food intake and the things that we are taking for our body. Example like fiber intake, vegetables and fruits, why is it so important? But maybe for some people, they just see food all the same.
Yeah.
They just eat it, you know, but then they don't know what's the, you know, benefit of every single things inside the plate, for example. So I think it's important for us to also tell the importance of like fiber intake, you know. It really helps with digestion, right? And then it gives us a better satiety. Satiety means that we feel more kenyang lah. Yeah.
And they have a study as well. I think 1 or 2 years back already. They are actually associating fiber intake with the rate of mortality. Mortality is a death. And by taking enough fiber, they actually reduce the rate of mortality. Yeah, that is for general. But when we go deeper down in terms of our digestion, us feeling full, there's so many good benefits of us feeling full easier.
And also people who's taking good fiber intake can also help them to reduce their cholesterol.
Exactly.
And also blood sugar level.
For those with diabetes. Diabetes is also another issue lah.
So think more lah about certain things. Why? Since we were young, we were always encouraged to eat vegetables, eat fruits, eat vegetables, eat fruit. It's not just because our parents just simply like asked us, you know, but there's a reason behind it. And I hope that everybody in Malaysia, these 95% people, maybe we need to start be more open lah, you know, like when we get a certain information, we don't be so defensive about our food culture, you know, because sometimes I personally feel that Malaysians are too proud about us being a food heaven to the point we didn't realize that this is the thing that causes a lot of like problems to our society right now in terms of health. One in two people in Malaysia is either overweight or obese. What else?
Diabetic. The data is also keep increasing, but I don't remember the exact figure already.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
So that is our second point lah. You know, just now we were talking about the lack of control and, you know, what are the potential solutions and what are the challenges. And then we move into the second point of like talking about the importance of taking fiber intake daily. And
I think before we go to the third one, right, just something that come across my mind because I face clients who tell me, I'm just picky eating, I just don't take any fiber.
I really don't know how to answer people when it comes to this.
After encounter a lot of clients like that, right? I would say just eat I mean, sometimes honestly, I feel a little bit irritated, as in like you directly shut the door off on all types of vegetables, and we have so many different types of vegetables that you can get. There must be one types or two types.
At least, right?
Yes, that you like.
Paling busuk cucumber, you know.
Yeah. And some people they even tell me they don't like cucumber. But if let's say you really don't like it, just to change in terms of your rice to brown rice. So that is just also a way for you to get fiber.
Yeah, you get the grains, right?
Yeah. And one very, very, very small step is at least to start, right, you just get some greens or get some vegetables. Be it just 1 spoon.
Yeah.
I think it's already a big difference that you're making if you are doing it consistently.
Yeah, I remembered when I was small.
Yeah.
There is this I don't know, like vegetables yang dah sejuk tu, like corn or like the yellow
frozen one,
orange color thing.
Usually fried rice one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also a source of fiber, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people eat that because it's inside our nasi goreng.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that could be also an option just for you to think more about it.
Even if it is canned or even if it is frozen, because a lot of frozen fruits and etc., there is also a source of fiber.
Yeah, exactly.
So there are so many options that you can get.
Yep.
And if let's say you really still don't know, talk to us. Let us give you the solution.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think the common issue right now that I noticed when we were also doing the discussion about making this topic, we also noticed that knowledge is the foundation of all of this.
Yeah.
Because lack of knowledge about healthy food, and sometimes a very very too strong perception about healthy food as well. Because people only think healthy food is all about eating salmons, and then potato, and
salad
then put
bowl.
Salad bowl. I don't know, like you go to like a poke bowl or like a fish bowl, and you think, oh, that's the healthiest version. But I think it's more than that, actually, you know, like
exactly.
Healthy food is more than that. So I think it's important for you to just equip. I don't know, but I feel like we are not trying to really learn and understand things, you know, but we try to just like be defensive and just try to avoid things. And I think we have to speak facts right now, and we have to be really realistic. Everybody who's listening to this podcast, you should be really, really concerned about our health situation right now in Malaysia. It's like really, really crazy. And I think it's all go back to like knowledge. Yeah, how are we perceive a certain food as well.
I believe, right, when we talk about knowledge, audience will definitely ask, you are dietitian, what? So you will definitely have more knowledge. And I think first thing first to acknowledge where we studied that nutrition, and then me personally, both of us, we have a deeper understanding towards nutrition for sure, because that is what we study. Yep. But sometimes, right, I also fall to the same trap as in, I have to get salmon. Yeah. I have to get, you know, like salad bowl. Only that is considered a healthy meal. Yeah. Yeah. Even me myself, I also fall into that trap. When I fall into that trap, what is the consequences? I will only look at the food that I see it as healthy, and I will look for other foods. Yeah. When I eat other food, or when I thought of taking some other food, for example, right, I want to take barbecue, right? All those grill, bakar one, or even I want to get like fast food. To a certain point, because of my understanding towards the nutrition content.
I understand. I see where you're coming from.
But also I have the craving.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's just, the struggle is also real. Yeah. As in,
because you know, right?
I know, but I do have the craving. So how to do about it? Yeah. What we can do about it, right?
Yeah. That's an important thing that everybody should be educated about it, and there are very simple things. You want to start first?
Yeah, I mean, first point is to really make sure or try your best to make sure your meal is balanced. Yeah, this BMV is something that we have been talking for as well for quite some time as well. Balance, moderate, and variety.
BMV, just remember BMV.
Not BMW. BMV. Yes. Balance, moderation, and variety. It doesn't mean that we just focus on one food, for example, like the poke bowl that you mentioned, or salad. That means that it's balanced. But it might not be balanced because you might not get enough of protein. Yep. So that is, I think, the simplest way to educate or to share the mindset for myself and for the audience as well to stay healthy. Make sure whatever you eat is balanced, moderate, and variety.
I think the most important part that we have to tell people what is balance, you know, like balance, inside balance is, it's supposed to, how do you know that the food is balanced or not, is that when they have macronutrients, macronutrients is carbohydrate, protein, and fat.
Yep.
So let's say we go to I don't know, like okay, I want to give a very sensitive example. Example like burger. Okay, so burger got carbohydrate or not?
Got the bun.
The bun, right? And then got protein or not?
Got the patty.
Okay, and then got fat or not?
Got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From where?
From the patty, or sometimes when they put butter and etc.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So now, okay, balance, moderation, and variety has to come together. Yeah. It cannot like just one. You cannot just take one. Okay. So now, so burger is considered balanced,
Still lacking a little bit of fiber.
Okay, so they are lacking of fiber.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to balance, they have this basic which is carb, protein, and fat.
Yep.
Okay, now we go to the next, moderation. So usually burger, the size is like double lah, and then they put a lot of like the harder butter, and then they put some more like maple syrup, and then they put a lot of like mayonnaise, sauces, and everything.
Yeah.
Does that consider moderate?
Might not necessary.
Yeah.
And also you might not just eat burger. You will eat with some other things. Yeah.
Yeah, with the fries. So fries is coming from carbs and also fat as well, right?
Yep.
So it's no longer moderate anymore. Yeah, so it is not balanced and it is not moderate anymore.
Yep.
And then whether it is variety or not, because you can't be eating burger every day.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what we are trying to say here is that we are not saying burger is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have to think back, you have to evaluate back whether it is balanced, moderate, or variety. So if let's say you take the burger, got carbs, got protein, got fat, and then you maybe eat like with a little bit more of like vegetable. I personally say that you should eat that. Yeah. But can you eat that every day or not? Then ask again whether is it variety. So maybe today you eat burger and then the next day you gonna eat like chicken rice. Another next day you're gonna eat like nasi Arab, for example.
Yep.
Another day you're gonna eat like Indian food or like Chinese food. So that's something that we are trying to tell here is that because of like a very strong perception about healthy food that people see, they always think that healthy food just come from all this kind of like Western menu.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Avocado, broccoli,
lucky
salmon.
that now everything is getting more expensive, right? Yeah, all the imported stuff, which is good. I kind of see where they are coming from when it comes to this. But that's what we are trying to say. Like we don't want to go so deep about like this nutrition knowledge, but just go back to basic, guys. It's like just balance, moderate, and variety.
Yeah.
And
there will be days where you feel like you want to eat something, and then you probably know that is not balanced. Right? You might not get enough fiber, for example. You might not get enough protein, for example. For me, that's okay. Because if it is just one meal, you can always make it better in the coming meals. And also that is what I tell myself as well as someone who need to always on the road, right? I don't get enough. I don't have that much of availability. To get, if let's say I cannot take mixed rice, okay, fine. Let's just go with chicken rice with just a cube 2 slice of cucumber. And if they don't have the option for me to order extra vegetables, for me that's fine. As I just want to feed myself full, and during my dinner I'll make sure I get back the vegetables.
I think the process is more important than like what you really want to achieve like at the end of the day. If let's say you make this compounding effort of like making sure you eat that 2 cucumber every day consistently, it's better than you are not doing it at all.
True.
So I think it makes a lot of sense to just guys just be more aware and just be more open. Like eating healthy or being healthy at the end of the day will give you a better mind clarity. Like you can work better. You won't be feeling that fatigue. I understand work is work. We also working adults. We know the stress of work and everything, but I personally believe that work should not jeopardize our health.
You need to have a good health so that you can work better and work further as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And whatever we mentioned, right, is something very small. Some of it might be intangible, as you mentioned just now. But as long as you start somewhere, despite your busy schedule, despite your life right now, a lot of things is happening, but we still get to eat. We still need to feed ourselves. Just to put a little bit more attention on the food that we are feeding ourselves. What I mean by a little bit more is not you are going to change the whole thing, just a little bit more. A little bit more awareness, a little bit more timun, cucumber.
Why not? Exactly.
So that is actually the small changes that you can do as a working adult to actually stay healthy?
Yeah, a reminder to myself as well, also to everybody. I think it's time for us to acknowledge that. I don't know why I've been saying this, because I feel like we really need this awareness.
Right.
We are really not a healthy society. You know, like our food is not necessarily healthy.
Yeah.
You know, our lifestyle is not necessarily healthy. We don't walk that much. You know, like we don't do exercise that much. We don't eat fiber that much. Yeah, I don't want to say a lot of like negative stuff. But what I'm trying to say here is that we need to start acknowledging that we are not healthy.
Yep.
Yeah. So when you start acknowledging it, yeah, you are not healthy. You need to really see back, you know, in terms of your health condition, do medical checkup more consistently, and from there, when you get to see what's the problem, then it's time for you to find the solutions and start making a small change. Yeah, because our life is not just gonna be like today. We still have tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that I also always mention to my client. Whenever you take nasi, right, or like whenever you want to take food, just try to remember that today is not the end of the world. Like you don't have to eat every single thing today. Because sometimes we want to eat nasi goreng, we want to eat nasi campur, and then tak cukup, we need to have like some curry puff, or we need to have like some kuih, and then we need some like sweet drinks. Try to think back. You can eat the curry puff later, right? During the evening snacks after that.
Tomorrow
also, and then maybe on the weekend also you can. So try to be more like strategic lah. You know, like when it comes to using food, don't just directly follow your nafsu. I know it's not easy because I went through that phase. That's why I can confidently say this way. But yeah, I think small change has to start somewhere lah.
Exactly. Yep. Alright, so let's summarize up whatever we have discussed or talked about today. As a working adult, basically we are always lack of control of the feeling of want to eat certain food, or because of the emotion, we tend to go all out, right? Eat like the end of the world, and just pause and reflect, or bring more awareness, self-awareness to our own thoughts. It can be just a 5 to 10 second of extra thoughts. Then it might make a difference. Second one, I think it is this is an issue for everyone. It's 95% of Malaysian adult. So just try your best to keep to get your fiber, be it just a little bit, be it you choose convenience, or you just want to try to choose the vegetables that you like, the fiber that you like. And the third one would be try to be balanced, moderate, and variety. The core concept of healthy eating, when we put under working adult, I still see a very big relevance over there. And one meal of not balanced doesn't mean you are not going to be healthy.
Don't be too hard on yourself lah. Seriously.
True also.
Yeah, just we still want to enjoy life. We still want to enjoy Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, Deepavali. We still want to enjoy eating out with friends. But yeah, just don't eat everything. that like there's no tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, so if anybody is interested with coaching, you know, in terms of your diet, you want to lose weight, you want to gain weight, or you have diabetic, hypertension, cholesterol, kidney problem, anything, you know, like, and you want to consult with a dietitian, please come to my Fun Diet. We'll be more than happy to, you know, give you a free assessment, I guess. Free assessment for you to, you know, like, get to know how's your nutrition situation. And please keep supporting us. We are so comfortable and happy to do this kind of content, you know, because it helps us to keep reminding ourselves and also the people who's like listening and watching us.
Yep. And if you watch until here, I think if, let's say, our audience, those audience who listen until here, and for you, maybe you are really clueless to deal with your working routine, your lifestyle, your working shift, and etc. We do have clients who work shift as well. Night shift. And we still manage to lead them to a healthier diet, or something that is sustainable, and they can do it every day. Oh, we forgot to mention about our vision at the beginning of this episode. So in my Fun Diet, we aim to bring sustainable, healthy dietary behavior for everyone.
Always. We never changed since 5 years ago.
Exactly.
And we hope that we can play even a small part in your life, you know, to make you a little bit more aware and And yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Or watching.
Yep.
Please don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify. I think that's about it.
Yep, that's about it.
Everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.